creating a mindful metaverse. Yeah.
Hello, I am a world builder. I also am a content creator in Rec Room. I'm a content creator across multiple platforms. I have the Berry Patch Discord, and so my goal is to create an inclusive and safe space for uh, gamers in the metaverse, and to encourage the creative community to be more supportive of each other, and sharing ideas and collaborating more. And yeah, that's my goal.
Yeah,
And thank you for having me.
Freckle. All right, and over we have
Hey, yeah, I'm Laura. I've been building for a couple of years in Rec Room now. Started on PlayStation VR, now I'm on PC VR. Um, Part of a team called Three of a Kind. Most people know us for our horror maps, but we make hangouts and fun games, PvPs, just lots of everything really.
oh, that's wonderful. Yeah,
So much fun.
I'm sure a lot of folks here have had a chance to a fright or two, thanks to Three of a Kind. Okay, thank you for bringing us the fright. It's and really cool hangouts live, right? So we're gonna start off with a question. We had a chance to talk to some of the members, and we have some questions for you guys. One is, how did you originally get into our field? What made you start in world? Are you and why do you? All right.
Um, yeah, I think I already briefly mentioned before, I started pretty early on, and it was really this realization and that feeling of like, oh my gosh, I can build whatever kind of environment, and then I can go in it and experience it. And now with the recent growth of social VR, especially like spending time with friends in those worlds gives it even like a whole new quality to it. So I think that really what drives me, and yeah, why I just keep creating and keep
Oh,
being amazed and inspired. Also, by all the work, like now that it gets more and more accessible, like the diversity of the content, it's just amazing. Like all the beautiful words people create and design.
amazing. What is one of like your most I can visit?
Actually, I just recently did a tour of the Uncanny Alley world that was part of the Venice selection in VR chat, which was like absolutely amazing. And it talks a bit about the metaverse communities, and like it's a bit like with like robots and yeah, it's just a great story that you kind of explore while you go through that world. And it takes you actually in the end out of VR chat to Webaverse, which is like a web-based metaverse platform, which is also very cool because it kind of connects the spaces in a way as well.
Oh,
Yeah, so that was really good. I can just recommend that.
that Kristen, tell us about what got you in.
So what got me in was right before COVID, honestly. I had just bought a headset for my son, and I was like, all right, we could share this. I want to explore it and see, what it's about. And once I put his on, I really quickly realized that there was going to be no sharing. Like, it just wasn't going to happen. So I bought my own, and I started exploring really like the game part of virtual reality and meeting so many people. And like that quickly became my favorite part of VR was that community. And then I found these other social apps and realized like, Root, like you can build in these apps, and that was so much fun. So like with the community, with building, I also realized this is a great place to do these mindful workshops, these meditation sessions. Like it was just something that really felt right. And then COVID hit, and it felt even more right. Like what better time to do this stuff than like right now in the middle of a pandemic where people can't get out, don't have access to, you know, these types of things, and maybe even if they could get out, still wouldn't have access to these types of things. And like I'm a huge proponent of mindfulness and meditation as just like self-care. Like it can help us feel better just by sitting and being. And I found Evolver and was welcomed really like openly and was allowed to just just join in and be a part of that and start, running my own sessions. And really he gave me the leeway to build within there, and just it's been an incredible ride. Like it really has. And so what keeps me is the community. I absolutely love the people that I've connected with in here. Like I can't imagine life without them at this point. They've become so close to me. And what other like awesome way to tell people like I'm working in VR? Like it's so cool. Like like it's so much fun to be working in VR and have this opportunity. So that's what keeps me. It's brought me.
Oh wow. I mean, I wonder if you had a chance to buy the not after this, buy the Recon Hub. There is an AFK lounge. You have an AFK lounge, and it's it's very relaxing. Actually, voice in there, but it's walking in
Awesome.
kind of yeah, like spa moment after you've had like tissue massage. You just relax like that moment. That's what that place is like. I love
I
it.
will totally have to check that out. It
Yeah.
sounds like so much fun.
So
That always cracks me
I
up when people are laughing.
yeah, I want to. Oh, I know. Okay, I know. I know. It's like, yo, we're in here so much. We like instinctively we laugh and now we react with our like puppeteering ourselves over here. Like we have that connection. Like it is. This is wonderful. I'm so happy to hear about these diverse. Over here, you guys would love to hear from your experience. Like, what helped you guys get into discovering VR, and then what keep. All right,
My story is similar to Kristen's. I actually I was working from home during the pandemic, and I was an Xbox gamer. And when Rec Room became available on Xbox, and I think that was last December, like a year and a half ago, maybe. Um, that's when I started playing on Xbox, and then I found the creative community, and I learned about like you can build things. So I started making fun stuff like costumes and just kind of silly things that I thought were fun. And then I started making maps, and that's when I really got into like, oh wow, this is really fun, and I started taking it more seriously. And I ended up taking a class. I think I actually met POW. It was POW and a player named Andromeda Strike. They told me about the Maker Pen class. So I took the free class, the adult Maker Pen class. Shout out to Lisha, you're the best. Thank you for teaching us for free. That's amazing that that's even available to me still to this day is amazing.
yeah,
And so I just fell in love with it. Just being able to create something in a virtual space was so amazing. Like the in-game tools, just being able to like, I don't know, it blew my mind that that's possible. And then to have that be some form of, I never even considered that I could possibly have a career from that. So it just has opened so many doors for me. And it's allowed me to make so many connections and expand my network. And it's just been fantastic. I've met so many amazing people. It's amazing. Yeah, that's my story.
Hey. Yeah, so I've I was actually during COVID like watching
I was
YouTube
mute
videos
that
of
moment.
people playing like
It's
horror games in
Laura.
VR, and I thought I need to get one of these headsets. And so I went to Game, which is like a store in the UK. Just went and bought a headset, and I was just hooked straight away. I was playing Resident Evil and all this stuff, and I was like, this is amazing. Yeah, and I came across Rec Room just by accident. I was like, what is this? I need to download this. So I downloaded it, and I just met some amazing people. Just some of the most incredible people I've met through on Rec Room. And one of my friends one day, he took out his maker pen, and he made like a cube and he just manipulated it, and I was like, what the hell, like that's amazing. And it just started from a cube for me. It was just a cube. And he came back later on that day, and I'd made like the whole Friends apartment. I don't know if you've ever watched Friends, the sitcom. And yeah, I made the Friends apartment. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I was just hooked straight away. I was like, I love this so much, and I was just addicted to it. I love it so much. And then my first map I made was Yuletide, the Christmas map, because I wanted to make like a Christmas card sort of thing for like kids during COVID who couldn't get out much, and just a nice happy place. And that was my first featured map, and just from then it's just not stopped. It's just been continuous, just creating and meeting amazing creators and people. I just feel so lucky to be where I am now, and the people that I've met. And yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'd love to hear about that. Also want to know, like, I'm curious about your opinion and from your observation. What are some ways you immersive design like help enhance someone's social experience? Is there something that has stood out to you, like a specific experience that you're like, oh wow, this was love like how this was connecting with people in a special way that comes that root.
Yeah, so, oh, sorry. What I definitely always appreciate is any kind of haptic interaction, like be it like it is in Rec Room with the high fives, like which is so special for here, which you don't have in a lot of other places, or in VR chat you have to add it by yourself, extra to the avatar that you have that kind of functionality. Or to pour water, just if I can give you a drink and I can actually pour liquid in there, like it adds so much like interaction that feels real because it behaves so realistically and how we're kind of used to it. I love these kind of things, but also with haptics, like if you fly, that like you have some kind of feedback, like a vibration or something on your hands, for example. So these kind of little like clues that just make the world more immersive, and the interaction in there and with each other a bit more grabbable, a bit more realistic, haptic, like as much as we have it with the controllers we have or something, if we're in VR, obviously, but yeah, these kind of things.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, haptics.
yeah.
Haptics is such a different. It actually, when I haptics, I get more nervous. It's like for like horror maps. I'm like, oh my gosh, the jump scares are gonna be really sensed. Okay.
Yeah, we did that with the spiders on the hands.
Oh, okay. So
in
tell us.
Silent Hill. Megan Fruey, a couple of friends of ours, they made it where in Silent Hill where the spiders would be just stuck to your hands, and they were physical, so you could feel them, like, and they would be stuck to your face and crawling around your hands, and that really freaks people out, stuff like that. Just they're trying to shake them off.
I remember this.
They forget that they're in VR, and they're just
Yeah, I remember this. You totally forget. You believe your mind sees, you believe it. When I was crawling through that crawl space, and the spiders got on me, I was definitely shaking. Like, get off! I was screaming. Like, it felt like people. If you've seen those filters with spiders, people react. What you see, just your mind believes it right away. Imagine adding haptics. Oh my gosh, so great. Anyone else would like to share about? Yeah, go ahead, Marco. Oh, sorry, and then Kristen. Yeah.
Nope.
Marco?
And in line with what Kristen was bringing up about meditative spaces in VR, I've been into a few worlds where, when they pay attention to the extra audio design, where, just having the spatial audio where you can tell directionally where somebody is talking to you is really cool. But then even having like the extra layers of sound effects, like if you're in a forest and you hear the different insects and the
Mhm.
birds and the breeze,
Mm.
and if you're in a cave and then now there's like a slight echo, or if you're underwater and there's those underwater effects, all those layers of audio I think also helps create that immersive illusion for me. It really adds that level of reality for me. It pulls me in more.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That
That I agree with both what they're saying, because when we're looking for worlds to be built, it's that question. You want people to walk in there and feel something. Like you want them to feel at peace or to be amazed. Like you want them to just, you hear the bugs, you hear the birds, you hear the water, and it just brings you there. Like you go on those roller coasters and that balloon pops in your face and oh my gosh, it brings you there. Like, like so I think it's so important when like you keep in mind like world building, room building and stuff like that, even avatar building, like what can like immerse this person, this player, this user into the environment that we're trying to create, or even an event we're trying to host. Like what would do that for that person in that moment. And I think I've seen a lot of what you guys built. You do it so well. It's insane what the
Thank you.
that's
capability in here is.
wonderful. Yeah. It's I know I suspend I will suspend I will just because I want to I want to like just feel like the extreme reaction from the yeah, so thank you guys for these. All right. So next up, we have another question coming in. This is I'm really curious about how you guys would um describe this. So how would you guys describe virtual presence? So right now, for example, you guys, like we are a lot of you guys out there. We've got maps. We've got a couple instances out there, full maps of people who are observing us right now. So and experiencing their presence with virtual beings who are not actually in their instance. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't see them; they're close to us. As I find really fascinating about broadcasted events. So I'm curious about what you guys think about virtual. How would you guys describe?
I I I feel like my virtual presence is my real life presence. Like I like being an avatar that like sort of looks like me-ish, but like I feel like I can identify with it. Like the animals don't do it for me. Um, but like a lot of
Yeah,
people
fictional.
really enjoy that. Yeah, right? Like it's weird. Like I like being kind of cartoony, humanish. My virtual presence, I am gonna always treat people the way I would treat you in real life. Like my virtual presence is gonna be really what my in-person presence is gonna be. Like it's just what you see is what you get. Like you'll never get a fake version of myself. And I don't think we should, because you're kind of lying to people then, right? Like you're not really being you, I guess.
Yeah, I've heard people also say like more like them.
Yeah.
Someone else would like to share thoughts on what is virtual presence?
I could share a bit from my view. So I've actually understood it a bit more in terms of virtual presence in the sense of being digitally somewhere else, or feeling present with other people in a room as well. And that is for me this feeling of really like I'm here with you now and I know what's going on between all of us and I'm present here, but I don't know what's happening around me right now at my real life place. I'm kind of not present in my real world space at the moment because like I'm virtually present with you here. So this is a lot of what it means to me, and that also goes in line with that it's yourself being at a different place, right? When you're actually virtually with like most of the senses that we have available, especially when we're in a VR headset, we are actually consuming a different environment, right? That's basically like the point when you are present with someone. So yeah, and then like I could talk a lot about like how we would show up in the metaverse, because as a VR creator, I deal a lot with that topic, but I
Yeah.
think that goes a bit too far for virtual presence.
I want to know a little bit more about like our trends you guys see coming up. What gets you excited about some of the?
Um, I'm really excited that something that I'm noticing is that people are starting to pay more attention to like the flow of a map and where people are, and how you spawn into a space and how that flow pattern exists in the space, and also like creating smaller spaces. I think a lot of creators create these giant maps, but if you can only fit, maximum 40 people in a world, it does feel a little empty. And we're talking about presence, you want to create these experiences where people feel like they are having an immersive, connecting experience. And so I'm noticing people are building smaller and smaller maps, which I think I'm super excited for that idea. I think that makes it feel more, um, not only easier to connect with people, but also it allows the creators to be more detailed in their work, at least in Rec Room, in this case, because
Yeah.
of, ink limitations. So if you have, a giant map, you only have so much space you can fill with ink. But if you have a smaller space, you can really go crazy with the details. And then I think that adds
Yeah.
to the immersion and the experience.
I love.
Yeah, definitely. We've been taking a lot of inspiration from VR chat recently
Oh
with
yeah,
some
tell
of
us.
our maps, because they have a lot of, these smaller spaces,
Oh, tell
like
me
only
about
one
that.
soft space, and it's just, yeah, it's just some of the maps that we see in VR chat, they're built so beautifully, and they have more resources obviously than what we can do in Rec Room, but it's great to take inspiration from that, because they a lot of the creators in VR chat, it's about escaping reality, and it's not always about it being realistic. Some of the worlds, you're out in space, on a beanbag, and it doesn't make sense, but it's
Yeah.
it's just really fun to make. And so yeah, just yeah, exactly,
I want
like
to. I want
Freckleberry
to.
says, the smaller spaces are amazing.
Yeah, when you're talking about, that's interesting. That's like part. I feel like it's part of your process that inspire you. Like how was that done? You probably start person engineering head. Share a little bit about your process. Um, like what is your process when you're?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Um, Definitely. When I think of a new idea, I gather up as many reference pictures and as I can. That's what I always, when people always ask me for advice on building, I always say get amazing and high quality reference pictures, or Sketchfab is a really good website for 3D models. Um, so I'll gather all my references and discuss it with my team, and we'll get out the drawing board and make notes, and it just goes from there, and it just flows naturally. I think as long as you're working with good friends and a good team,
Mm-hmm.
it just flows naturally. And then in a couple of days, you've got an amazing map, and you don't know how it's happened, but it's just happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, someone in the audience, Tough 10, says Sketchfab is the clutch building reference. Tough 10, thank you.
That's new for me.
Hey,
I have to check that
Yeah,
out.
you
I
have to
use a
try
lot of
it. It's really
Pinterest.
good.
yeah.
But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
you use
check out the
Pinterest?
Sketchfab's
Sketchfab.
amazing.
It
Yeah.
has a bunch of
Yeah,
Sketchfab is
free,
really good.
like 3D
Mm,
items in Sketchfab.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Can you? Yeah.
Thanks for the tip.
You guys want to share about your experience, your process for it, like mindfulness.
Oh, it's so different. So like it really depends on the space. Like Rec Room is like a whole nother level of really cool things that we're like that we can actually do in here. So it's all about like it depends where we are, right? So in alt space, we can bring Unity files in, and that is, a Zen garden, a temple, just like just it's a world space that makes sense for that world because there's not a lot of interaction. But the worlds are absolutely beautiful. The builders that do them, it's stunning. Like it's just incredible. So the detail really, is in the water, is in the trees, is in the temple. Yeah, the textures matter. The size will always matter because it doesn't make sense to have a giant room for 40 people because even as an event host, if they're scattered all over the map, then you're sort of lost in the experience. But in here, I've been finding creators and even just trying to create myself, like, what makes sense. So water
Yeah.
for me will always make sense, like nature will always make sense. Like I notice people like doing things in here. So my next question is like, what does that look like in meditation? Like what
Oh.
can they do, that that makes sense in Rec Room, in the event that's capable to do. So it's like all of these questions are like in my brain as I talk to different creators. Oh, look, you got a gift. And so I ran my first event last week and the kids just kept sending me gifts.
Yeah.
Like it was just nonstop and it was
Oh.
hysterical. It made me laugh so hard. It was just hysterical. So like they obviously
Aw.
like doing stuff like this, like so just being able to like have that interaction in here,
Yes.
um, that's what we look for, or that's what
Nice.
I look for, just something that's inspiring and creative and, interactive.
So that you can I know what you're doing. It's like you want your instinct is like, pow, open it. I know, but there'll just
Open
be another
it.
one. There'll be another one. There'll be another one that comes in after this one. And we'll be opening and opening. Okay.
You're never in the stream.
All right, here we go. We're gonna start a waterfall. I've turned off notifications, by the way. And this is a nickname. They call me POW James sometimes on purpose. POW James. POW James. I mean, that's my cousin. POW James. Thank you for that. This is from Anime Jowdy. Thanks for that. Oh my gosh, POW James. Okay.
It won't stop now, pal.
I'll face this way. All right, I love that. Thank you for sharing about that. I would love to hear a little bit about your upcoming projects that you're excited about. Immersive projects you're excited about sharing. Yeah, what are you working on? What are you guys working on?
Well, I'll go first. I'm working on being in here, working on the environments in here,
Okay.
working on
Yes.
hosting the events in here,
Hey,
and
awesome.
yeah,
Woo!
Yeah.
it's
This is an
super
experience.
exciting.
You're training up right
Yeah.
now with us. Look up this experience. Nice. That's awesome.
That's
Trip.
exciting.
That is exciting. I'm behind the
Yeah.
chicken. Okay. What about Roots?
Yeah, what I'm working on. Basically, I'm running Roots Club in Somnium Space, so definitely you're all invited to come by. And we usually have parties, or we also do things like moon circles or
Yeah.
meditation circles, actually. So, Christine, that might also be interesting for you to come by
For
to
sure.
a meditation.
Oh, yeah.
Meditation circle. Yeah, so we do these kind of things, but also in general, I'm always working on my performances. So I do full body tracking with VR, and I perform on a sports pole. So I basically like overlap like the virtual environment with the real environment, and I have an avatar that usually has like certain kind of either be it like particles that are following like trails or something, or other like effects basically that make movement more interesting. And I'm also hosting concerts from different, usually like female musicians that are performing in a VR headset in my club. So
Oh
yeah, I'm
wow.
collaborating with Ollie Sounds. She's a really cool woman, like a musician and songwriter. Yeah, so that's most of the stuff. And I'm also working with women in immersive tech on all kinds of like activations for female or non-binary creators.
Awesome. That's amazing.
It's
Oh,
amazing.
I love your
Yeah.
work.
That's
Thank
so
you.
cool.
It's super cool. Love it. All right. And
I
what are you,
love that.
Freckle? Tell us about your projects you're excited to be working.
I am excited. So I just released my new clubhouse called the Berry Patch.
Yay.
We're going to be hosting a lot of events in the Berry Patch. We also do online events like in my Discord server. So I do Friday night movie nights. We're all through October. We're gonna have like spooky season. So we're gonna do some scary movies and then move into like some holiday movies. We do game
Aw.
nights. We play Rec
Love
Room,
it.
but we also play a couple other games.
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Fortnite. Yeah.
People have a love or hate relationship with Fortnite. I love it. I'm not here
It's
to.
fun.
I'm not
It's
ashamed.
great.
It's so much
started because
fun.
of you guys. I started playing because of you guys. Yeah.
So I have a lot of games coming up, game nights and stuff like that, and then just hosting more events in Rec Room, doing tours and doing making content. I'm starting to put together some tutorials, and AKKR has been pushing me and motivating me to make more TikToks, and so I'm having a lot of fun with that.
Let's go.
Utini, Fortnite.
Oh, that's awesome. I like challenging KK. We're gonna do one a day. Well, we try our best to do one a day. TikTok a day. Yeah. Yo,
Exactly.
trickle that motivation to everybody. Trickle to everybody.
Yes.
Love it. All right, and Laura, thank you so much, Freckle. What
Wow.
projects are you? Oh, you can't tell us.
As my favorite beta tester, pal,
Oh my
you'll be very happy
goodness.
to know.
Oh,
You'll be very happy to know.
I'm sweating.
So we've got something
I'm
very,
sweating.
very scary coming for Halloween.
Oh,
We've invited a few people already. Yeah, and they've said that it doesn't look like Rec Room. It's very scary. You're not gonna like it.
wow. So I'm looking not forward to it because you know I'm going. I'm gonna go through that. Wow, Laura. Okay, keep it a surprise. No spoilers. See, as you can see how
Yeah,
Laura,
no spoilers, no
you see
spoilers.
how Laura
I-
did not give anything away. That's because of me. Thank you, Laura.
Because you always tell me off the spoilers. I'm scared.
Is there anything you spoil?
No spoilers.
Spoil
No
something
spoilers.
else. Spoil something else. Are you making? Yeah. Can you tell us about actually I have something I'm curious about exploring. So I'm curious about is there anything you guys take from your actually you have been touching on this, like experiences you've had or learned or skills you've developed, you've from other IRL, let's just say IRL related, and you kind of bring that into your design making the virtual space. And I'm like, I feel like the automatic answer is yes. So it's more like how is it that you transfer these design skills that you learned and obtained in not in VR into VR? And I think Laura, I wanted to kick it off with you because I know you have your design. Can you tell us about your design background?
Yeah, so like in real life, I've always been good at artwork and things, but I've always been fascinated with horror anyway, and I love these horror experiences that you go to, with food.
You do food. You do
Huh?
food art.
Are you talking to someone else?
Talking to you.
What? Food art. Yeah, I'm a
food looks
trained
really
chef. I'm a
good.
trained chef. Yeah.
That food looks really good in VR.
Yeah, you've seen my food,
Our
haven't
food
you?
looks good in VR.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see it, and
I've made a lot of food in VR. I feel like I'm cooking when I'm making food in Rec Room.
That's what I
like
mean.
a Rec
Okay.
Room. Yeah, it's so fun. Yeah, I've made so much food in Rec Room, like party sets for people for their little
It's cute.
parties
Really
and
cute.
Halloween tape, all sorts of things like that. Yeah, that's fun.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah. Freckle, would you like to share like anything that you from IRL you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I do leverage this.
absolutely. I used to direct stage shows and I taught theater in the high school. Um, so I bring a lot of that of like stage elements, I
Yeah.
think. And one of my teammates, D808, he also has a theatrical and vocal background. So there's a lot of theater in our builds, I think. A lot of storytelling and a lot of setting the stage elements of like what needs to pull focus in this moment and how to light this so that you can draw attention to naturally pull your visitors and
Mhm.
your map to this direction. And I'm constantly learning, not even just in real life, but I'm constantly learning from other creators in the game. Literally every build I've ever worked on is like a collaboration of like 100 people of just like, hey, do you have a second? Can you come tell me how to do this? Or hey, can you come show me how you light this? And just leaning into other people's strengths. But definitely real life plays a factor in translating your art into VR, I think, for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh my gosh. I want to hear yeah, it's like what spinning off with Freckle, how do you guys also life into VR?
Um, yeah, so I can't hear her talk if she's talking.
Oh, am I
No,
hello, hello?
no, you
Microphone
weren't.
check. Microphone check. Let's do
Okay,
check.
good.
Okay, okay. We'll project.
No, no,
Oh,
it's all good.
yeah, go ahead. Basically same question. How do you bring a life to VR?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So for me, it's really like it really depends, obviously, on like which kind of experience it is. Like the more the user or like the visitors or however you want to call them, the people that come by, check out your world. So, however, the more alone they are and the less like guided they are, I think the richer and more dense like the little things they can explore by themselves should be. So I think it's really about what are the people doing in there? If it's like a space they go to be by themselves or explore it with other people, then obviously it's a nice thing if it's as interactive as possible, and especially if there's nice little clues that connect the environment. So if you find something here, you can open something somewhere else. Another present. Um, but then again, like if it's a story-driven piece and maybe even like a linear piece, then it's a whole different story, because then you also don't want to lose people on the way. You don't want to like distract their attention. You want to keep them focused, and you want to more like spotlight a world and like have like more of a like clear way and spots that you regroup, and so it really depends on like what kind of format you're
Yeah.
working on, but these are definitely things that I always have in mind when I like create interactions.
Oh, that's awesome. Kristen.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys sound great.
My dogs
I'll
are
make sure to
going
project.
crazy, so
Hi, we can hear the puppies. They sound adorable. We love puppies. We do love them.
um so when I'm talking about having a space created or even creating a space, the real world things that come in for me is just like what makes me feel good, like, and that will always be nature. That will always be like, you know, experiences that I draw from just in my real life. So, you know, being by the water, being in the woods, like, and I always find it interesting that people can do that really well in VR. There's like some people that just do it so unbelievably well, and um Like,
Aw.
I'm sorry. It's
Aw.
so windy right now.
That sounds so cute. I love it.
It's-
Ah.
uh, yeah,
Yeah.
so that's about it. I'm
I
gonna
see.
put myself on push to talk because the wind is insane right now.
Oh, no need. They sound. The wind sounds like adorable puppies to me. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So just to see, we're kind of nearing the end. I want to. You know what? I want to make opportunity for you guys to ask any questions. So go ahead and make your way over to the POW Jam YouTube channel right now, because we could follow the chat there. We also have moderators who can help keep your questions surfaced. Please head over to the YouTube, type POW Jams, and we're live streaming this right now. So type your questions in the live stream chat. Okay. All right. So one more question from that we have here prepared for you is, can you share any advice or mentorship words for upcoming immersive experience designers? Like, what is one piece of practical advice give to one starting out? Let's start here with Freckle, then Laura, Kristen. Freckle.
I think specifically in Rec Room, take advantage of the resources. There's so many classes that are offered for free. It's amazing. There's so many. And also strengthen your network. I think as creators, I think naturally we're sensitive souls as creators. But I think utilizing, your network and friending each other and sharing and collaborating is really important. If you find a cool technique and, share that with your friends. That's how I've been able to grow pretty quickly in the game, is relying heavily on other people's strengths and highlighting those strengths and, being able to learn from them. So take some classes, learn your tool. If something, you want to create something in game, definitely learn your craft and spend time learning what the maker pin does.
Wow.
Yeah.
Laura.
What I always tell people is when they ask, how do you become a good builder, and I always say to create what makes you happy. So like some of my first maps, they were just little cute hangouts, just make what makes you happy, don't try and feed into too much of what's popular, like costume maps and things. Just make what you enjoy, in real life, and create with friends if you can. Some people, they try and go out of their way to make a build team with people that they don't know, and often personalities can clash and things, and so I think having a team around you that comes along organically always helps, and using really good reference pictures always helps. I always tell people and just try and enjoy it. I think people worry about it a little bit too much, and like Freckleberry says, reach out to other builders and don't be afraid of asking to show someone your map or things like that. I love looking around people's maps and giving them advice, and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I saw a
love that.
comment. I saw a comment saying, how am I going to remember all of this information? Lucky you guys, this is being live streamed right
Notes.
now. You guys will just go back and watch these enriching answers. Okay, you're going to learn a lot. So go back and watch it. Watch it on the live stream. All right? Yes. Yeah, what are some practical advice you someone starting to design, especially maybe in your area? Root.
Yes, so I would always tell people to, also what Laura just said, like stick to their style. If it's something that like comes naturally to them, and even if like they don't really get the best feedback for it in the beginning, like if it's your style, then just stick with it. I had that quite some time throughout like different communities and stuff that people are just like, why do you design that way? Like, why do your avatars look like that? It's like creeping me out or something, you know? And I'm like, yeah, but that's my style, you know? I like it. And then for some people, they can really relate to it. And so I think, yeah, you'll find your niche. When you really like do the things that come like naturally to you and that's like your style of doing things. And I would also definitely see that like use some of these amazing new AI tools. Like they're so amazing for inspiration, like Midjourney, for example, especially for like building environments or sceneries or something. Like it's so cool how you can prompt them with just a few words and then you basically get a picture of a scenery that you could use as an inspiration for your worlds. That's something I really, really like. And then also like don't make it too complicated and really like try it out like rather earlier than later. So like at the prototyping stage, just test it with other people in there because then you get all the cool new ideas as well. So I think like just like do something really rough and then go in and then like you can go from there. I think this is like what I would start off with.
Oh, I love it. Okay. And what about Chris? Especially
Um, I think it's important, like Freckleberry said, find your people, right? Like some people just do things better than you can, or they can teach you how to do it, and you can draw from their experiences. Make it user friendly. Like, you know, many times I go into a world it's so big where the Z fighting is crazy, or like it just doesn't make sense. Like, and it's so uncomfortable to be in there in a headset. So like always build with people in the back of your mind. Like just because you can do it doesn't mean that you should do it. Like so like make it
Mhm.
make sense for people that are going to be in a headset. Like make it comfortable for them, make it fun for them, make it, you know, like start with that broad idea. Like what is the purpose of this room? What do I want to accomplish here? And make that raw design. And then, you know, it doesn't have to be huge. It can be something smaller, and then the devil is in the details. The details actually do matter. You know, that's where the beauty is found. Like that's where somebody's like, oh my gosh, look at this microphone. Like you can look at it and see that like there's little speckles in there, you know, like it's like everything matters what you do. So like placing a cube just as a step, like could be so much more than just that cube, you know? So I think just, and don't give up because it is so frustrating. Like it's so frustrating. Like, and it might not work the first 10 times, but that doesn't mean the 11th time or the 12th time that it won't work. So if you have an idea,
Mhm.
stick with it and just
yeah,
keep going
yeah.
until like it's executed in your head.
Love it. That's
I think that's
we do have two questions. I'm gonna go with these two questions. I think that'll be just enough for this time we have. And anyone's free to answer it. So if anybody what we'll do with these the Q&A questions, someone who wants to take the lead on the question, and then if anybody wants to add to it. So I saw a really awesome one from the audience here. Nutlin, this I love your question. Okay. Lauren has been paying very good attention to everything you guys have been saying since the beginning. I could see the question. This is what they said earlier. They said, what are some of the key elements when it comes to immersive design? Earlier, you guys talked about using haptics and sound design. But is there anything else you can share that you look? Anything you want more advice?
I think
Lighting,
thinking of the
lighting's really important. Yeah,
Lighting.
sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, you're
Yeah.
right. It's good.
Yeah, lighting's really important.
Okay.
Lighting, people often underestimate how much it can change the feel of an environment. And that's one
Can
thing
you
I
give us
really enjoy
examples?
doing.
Yeah, give us an
And
example of how you use lighting, like kind of walk us through.
So it's just to create depth to an environment and shadows, and it can make a room look really beautiful and peaceful and relaxing, or it can make it really spooky if you use it in certain ways. And the way that you angle a light against objects creates shadows. The way that you intensify it, it's just so important, and people really underestimate, that lighting is a whole other job that you have to do on top of when you've created a room, and it does take a while to to really nail it on the head how to do good lighting. And that's one thing that I always notice in the better, more immersive rooms is they have excellent lighting. So yeah, that's one thing that I would say to people.
That's awesome. Anybody else
I
want to add to
completely
that?
agree.
Yeah. Go ahead. The lighting.
Yeah, I completely agree with Laura, the lighting. Yeah, and that's another reason why I love working with other people and learning different styles and their approaches to their craft. I mean, for example, like my friend Jay Bluna does the most amazing things with light. I mean, I've learned so many techniques. I mean, just the idea of like tucking a light into something creates different shadows as opposed to just lighting the front of it. And that was something that was very eye-opening for me earlier on in my career. So just playing around with the lighting is such a good suggestion, Laura. Yes.
Great. Jabluna. Shout out to Jabluna.
Yeah, I would also add to that actually, because one of the things I've been really focused on since always designing immersive experiences in general is locomotion. And here in this space, like in Rec Room, it's obviously a given locomotion already, but I think you can also probably alter it with flying. I'm not 100% sure, but like especially like in Somnium or VRChat, you can like play around a lot with the way of locomotion, and then obviously when you design it all as a standalone experience, then you can like be super free in the locomotion. And one of the first pieces I designed was floating and flying. Like you kind of spread your arms, you float and fly, and you have like jetpacks on your arms. And that's like it's an essential part of like an immersive experience is like who are you and how do you move around in this environment, like besides the environment and everything that's happening in there, it's also like who are you as like the protagonist in a way.
That's awesome. I love that. Love that route. All right. And Chris. Yeah, was there anything else that you'd suggest, maybe especially in your
Yeah, it's hard in here because I'm still fairly new, but like reflection and lighting is really important in like the other maps. It really does make a huge difference. Shadows make a difference. The way you build water makes a difference. Like just even how you build environments. Like lighting, I guess, is a thing in here, and that's it's a thing everywhere. It's so important. I don't know. I can't speak to here really well because I only just started.
Oh, that's fine. Like in
But I
general,
know
your
in like
in VR design, immersive design, in general.
yeah,
Totally
in VR in general, like the reflection probes matter, the lighting matters, like all of that stuff that people really like. It's hard to grasp if you're not in that environment, so you have to constantly bring it out and bring it back in and see what it does
You know
and
what?
how it works.
Yeah, when I go through maps, I've done contest judging in this game and I've had many different maps, and lighting is definitely important. How you even your shadows, think about light, think about shadows. When things feel grounded, things feel like it visually feels immersive. When you actually feel grounded, if you don't have any lighting and everything feels flat, it feels like it's not real. If matrix or something. So lighting is another is that detail that you're talking about earlier that doubles in the detail. So I love that call out, Laura. Lighting, and even lighting has
Another thing is that 3D sound is really cool. Updog, who's in the audience right now, he's really good at. He'll get a sound and he'll like he will move it around the room. So and it can make a really creepy experience to have sounds that are moving around you. They're not just stationary, and it completely changes your experience. Things like that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's such a great idea. So clever.
Yeah.
Guys, we are about there. We reached that time. No one, we did amazing. Can you guys please give it up for this awesome panelist?
up,
Everybody,
dog?
point and cheers. Point and cheers, everybody. Point and cheers, everybody up here. Yes, thank you guys so much for joining us again. If you guys want to have a chance to follow everybody's journey, make sure to point and follow them. You guys can update your bios with like any special links to your to any of the work, your website.
Oopsie.
Yes, your socials. Please make sure you put it in your bio.
Just turned green.
That's one efficient way, by the way, guys, for those who are not in Rec Room as much. Hook up your bio. Yeah, hook up that bio. Yes. Okay, guys. You know what? How about we all take a group photo? A quick group photo. Just come stand right here near the stage, and we'll take a group photo. Everybody, in all the instances, we'll take a group photo. So stand right here. Perfect. Stand right there. All right. I'm gonna set up my camera too. Set up my camera. Okay.
You, sir. Get down there.
We'll do 10 seconds. 10 seconds on mine. I could have time to fly back there.
Hey,
All right.
KK.
Hey, KK. Hey, KK and Zeus.
You.
Andy.
Whatever your name.
Andy.
Captain.
Makanala.
That's what-
Maka.
That's what you get.
Maka,
Zut
join us.
for not coming up here.
Maka, please join us.
Makanalani.
Maka.
Maka.
Lani.
Makanalani.
Okay, Maka.
Maka. Oh, is it
Makanalani.
Maka.
Nice name.
Makanalani. That's
Makanalani.
Makanalani. There you
Yeah,
go.
so it's weird. It's
Ready?
weird because Rec Room's so much more realistic than VR chat. Am I right?
Alright, 10 seconds. After 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Jeez, 50-second countdown.
Emote.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
crying.
I need
crying
time.
takes me a
I need
back.
time.
I just need to laugh so bad.
Everybody, hold your positions. Everyone else is trying to take photos. They're
Well,
ghosts.
not us, guys. Not us. We're not in that instance.
You can pose up, pal. You can
We're
pose.
good.
You can pose.
Go on up, doggy. Pose. Pose
my
with
God.
us.
Pose
I
for
cry?
the stream
Work
up,
it.
dog. Pose for the stream. The stream hears you. The stream hears you perfectly fine. Can you go to a medium
Oh,
shot?
shit.
Go
Come
to a
up
medium
closer.
shot. AKK. Medium shot for us.
So if they're in another room, they'll know I'm here.
Yeah, come here with
Yeah,
us.
let's prove that.
Good.
We're not
Get
talking
us
to
all in the
ourselves.
shot.
Let me move this camera out the way. It's blocking the camera. It's blocking the camera. Jeez. Disappear. Disappear. All right. Oh my goodness! This is so long. Quit. I can't take it. Oh. I'm just trying to close this camera. It had me locked there for ages. I set it on a 2-year timer. Oh my gosh. Yay!
Oh my god, you get a timer.
2 years later.
All right, smile.
Yay! We're smiling.
Cheese.
Cheese.
Mhm.
Oh wait, we're still smiling.
How do I smile?
Oh, okay.
Another
So
gift.
in VR, point, and hold the, and you'll see another menu pop open. You just have to point forward.
Just cried.
All the emojis.
Get it together,
Yeah.
guys.
And
Come on.
hold it.
You hear what?
Let's go.
Right on. Few more. There we
Few
go.
more. We're
Oh,
so
this was a nice one. Perfect. Got it.
let's go.
I'm
Yay.
done. I can't smile
Yay.
anymore.
Thank you guys.
I was smelling so much.
Thanks,
fire.
everyone.
everybody. Thanks everybody.
Thank you, pal. Thank you, Good
Thank
Social.
you.
Thank
Your
you.
audio
Yeah,
is
thank
like
you, that was
halfway
fun.
through. It's so.
I'm so happy I made it.
Yeah,
in
You still
time.
can't hear me.
No, I'm saying I lost Lauren's audio.
Just
like,
made it.
halfway
Yes,
through.
bye bye.
Oh yeah, that happens sometimes.
That
Yeah.
happens
It was
sometimes.
great though.
That might happen
Yeah.
sometimes.
Sometimes.
I heard you. You were heard. I could
Yeah.
hear all of you guys clearly the entire time. So
Yeah.
that means the screen heard you guys
That's all
perfectly.
that
clear.
matters. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Also,
Oh,
let's
good.
say bye.
That's
I'm gonna say
great.
bye to the stream. All right, guys. Oh, wait. Hold on. Everybody in here. I want you guys to follow us to the back. Let's go and click on those buttons over here. Spam, click, and accept.
How do I? Oh.
We have all of these events.
Oh, that's a lot of power.
That's a lot of.
Oh my god.
That's a lot of pow.
A lot of POW Jams Club. POW
That's a
Jams
lot
Club
of pow.
fam. This is
All right.
a pop-up vibe stream.
go
We're
to
gonna be
that one.
drawing.
I'll go. I'm at this one.
You know
so that's
what? We
good.
should have like a. We should have like a. If you check
in
them
that
all
one.
off, you get
I'll go
something.
to this one.
If you go to all of them.
Interested in this one. I'll go to this
Oh,
one.
that's a way for. I think there's a way for me to figure it out. I think if you've been to all of them. Laura Bunzo says they're a fan. Laura Bunzo says they're a fan.
Aw.
Yeah. This is
Thank
later
you.
today. This one's today. Trivia, which we're gonna go speed run.
Hey, it's funny. I
actually,
didn't see
no, we
them.
need a-
I
we
didn't
need a-
see
we
them
need a-
here.
Need a break.
Are they late?
Yeah,
I saw everybody else, but are they late?
that they're gonna show up exactly like this,
Hello.
exactly like this in Rec Room. And then here we have YouTuber trivia battle, guys, with all these guys. We've got Slat, V Bunny, Therapeutic, Soul Fox Gaming, Tidal Wave. Hold on, the stream can't see any of this. Let me bring you guys over here. I left Perry. I've left Perry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Stream. All right, make sure you come. You guys, make sure. It's gonna be at 3 p.m.
Oh, I just
Pacific
turned
time
green.
tomorrow. 3 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow. We're gonna have Slat, V Bunny, Therapeutics, Soul Fox Gaming, Tidal Wave V, Mavin VR, Gecko VR, Professor Echo, Chubby Bowtie, Bella Bob, and Oreo.
And
Up
Oh, yeah.
panel's going
Updog
here, yeah?
Laura will be
Up dogs panel.
Up
right
Dog's
here.
panel. Yeah. Up Dog's panel is you need an amulet to see it to unlock the visibility.
Guarantee me
Only
at least
Up
one.
Dog sees this
Guarantee
panel.
me one question at least.
What? You want so Up Dog? Okay. Up Dog
Any
wants to
question.
reserve a question. All you have to do is show up. You actually be there, Up Dog.
I got you.
Actually
I got
be
you.
there.
I'll take care of that.
And let's not forget POW Music Jams featuring Jabluna. I want to bring you. I want to
love
bring
that.
Jabluna in there.
Hi.
Can we bring Jabluna in there
Hello.
into
How are you?
the map that we?
Oh yeah, I've got the
I'm good, how
holotalk.
are
Yeah,
you?
I've got.
Thank you.
I've
Oh,
got
I
him.
love
Can we
that.
bring him in there? Yay, Jabluna!
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Baby Luna.
my
I was
gosh, that's
taking this
amazing.
photo and I'm like, I missed Jabluna. Oh. All right, guys.
Laura's
let
like,
me-
yeah, I have like 5 hall tarts in the
Hello,
corner.
hello, BW Gaming. All right, let me go back to streamer camera, real quick, guys. Streamer camera, right here. Okay, there we go. All right. Hold on. Am I in front of you guys? Are we in front of you guys? Yeah. I am. Okay, thank you guys so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us for this first POW Jam panel. Ooh, lower voice. You guys can. Sorry if I'm really loud covering you. Boom. There you go. All right, it's just me and you. Thank you guys so much for us. You guys don't understand how much I appreciate you guys swinging by and showing support for these amazing creatives. Okay, I'm so inspired by them. I'm so just excited for what the future brings, all their amazing ideas. Okay, so I want you guys to also stay tuned. We have another live stream coming up in just a few hours. Very, very few, like 4 hours. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be POW Trivia Jams like you've never seen it before. And then it's going to be Saturday. And Saturday, it's even huger. That's not grammar. That's just remixing. Give it a little POW Jam. Okay. All right. Coach says I'm a big fan. I see you, Coach. POW Trivia. And Glow says POW Trivia is going to be fun. It is. All right, see you guys there. I need to food now after talking about food. And now, you know what's funny? I'm just imagining Laura's like rec room food, and it does make me hungry. That's how good it looks. That's how good of a food creative Laura is. That their full food, thinking about it makes me like I'm hungry. Maybe I'm just really hungry. That's all that is. All right, thank you guys. Guys, in a bit. I swallowed the camera. Oh, I'm just gonna, you guys, everything's in a minute. You guys soon. You guys are look so adorable, so scrumptious. I'm gonna gobble you up. Gobble. There. I jam.